You've spent your whole life trying to become who they wanted you to be. Your parents had expectations, your friends had opinions, the world gave you filters, trends, and standards, and you tried to fit them all. But late at night, when the world goes silent, do you ever wonder, who did Allah design you to be? You keep chasing approval, but lose pieces of your soul with every scroll. You pray, but still feel disconnected. Maybe it's because you're living a version of yourself that Allah never wrote. You've learned how to please people, but forgotten how to recognize yourself. Every time you try to blend in, something inside you whispers, "This isn't me." You weren't created to fit in. You were created to be found. Becoming who Allah meant you to be starts here. We live chasing validation, likes, status, beauty, success, yet every achievement feels strangely hollow. You post something, you get the likes, but the high fades in seconds. You buy what they say will make you happy, and somehow you still feel incomplete. You smile in pictures, but behind every smile there's that quiet whisper, "Why do I still feel empty?" You pray, but your heart feels distant. You work hard, but the peace never stays. It's like living inside a version of yourself that looks alive, but doesn't feel real. You keep changing yourself to fit the world, and every time you do, another piece of your soul disappears. You've built a life that looks perfect on the outside, but inside, there's confusion, frustration, and silence. Because maybe you've been trying so hard to become who everyone else approves of that you forgot who Allah already chose you to be. And that's the moment when the heart starts to whisper, "I don't want to impress anymore. I just want to return." Allah created you on purpose, with a purpose. Every breath you take, every chapter of your life written with divine precision. Your struggles, your scars, your silent battles, they're not random. They're ingredients of who He meant you to become. Every delay that broke your heart was protection. Every failure that humiliated you was direction. And every heartbreak that felt like an ending was actually a beginning. You thought you were falling apart, but Allah was rebuilding you quietly in places no one could see. He wasn't punishing you, He was preparing you. He wasn't ignoring your prayers, He was shaping the soul that would be strong enough to carry them. The pain that made you question everything, that was your classroom. The tears that no one saw, they were part of your training. Because your soul was never meant to stay ordinary. It was meant to be refined by fire, not destroyed by it. Maybe it's time to stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is Allah building in me through this?" You're not broken, you're becoming, and everything you've been through was written with mercy to guide you back to the version of yourself that was always meant to rise. Becoming who Allah meant you to be isn't about changing who you are. It's about returning to who you were before the world told you who to be. That's what we call fitra, the pure, uncorrupted self Allah placed inside you long before fear, comparison, and doubt took over. When you were a child, your heart was light. You loved easily, forgave quickly, dreamed without limits, and believed in goodness. You didn't care about perfection. You cared about peace. That was your fitra speaking, your soul unfiltered, untouched. But as you grew, the world began to paint over it. Voices told you who you should be, what you should want, how you should look. Slowly, the innocence turned into insecurity. The purity turned into performance. And somewhere along the way, you lost the sound of your own soul. But here's the truth. Your fitra never died. It's just buried under noise. Every act of dhikr, every sincere prayer, every moment of silence with Allah, it pulls another layer away. It helps you see the real you again, the one Allah already loves, even when you don't. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You don't need to be louder, richer, or more impressive. You just need to remember, to return to that version of you who finds peace in sujood, not in attention, who feels alive not because of applause, but because of connection. Becoming who Allah meant you to be is a journey back to your fitra, back to your truth, back to Him. Every transformation begins with one simple act, awareness. Not perfection, not massive change, just awareness. So tonight, before you sleep, take one quiet minute. Put your phone away, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what part of me today felt closest to Allah? Was it the moment you helped someone without expecting anything back? Was it when you controlled your anger, even when you were right? Was it when you smiled at someone's pain and said, "It's okay, Allah will fix it"? That moment, that version of you is worth becoming more of. Because that's the part of you that's most alive, most pure, most connected to your fitra. And then ask yourself softly, what part of me today pulled me away from him? Was it the comparison, the pride, the distraction, the rush to impress? Notice it, not to hate yourself, but to understand yourself. This 1-minute reflection rewires your heart. It turns your day into a mirror, showing you where you're growing and where you're drifting. Every night you do it, you'll start peeling back another layer of who the world told you to be and step closer to who Allah designed you to become. Transformation doesn't start when life changes. It starts when you notice. You don't need to chase who you're supposed to be. You don't need to fight so hard to prove your worth. Just return to who Allah already created you to be. And you'll find a peace that never fades. All this time, you thought you were lost, but maybe you were just being guided back home. Every detour, every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer, it was never wasted. It was leading you here, to this version of yourself that finally remembers. The world told you to become more, but Allah has been whispering, just come back. Back to the calm that lives in your salah. Back to the softness that once filled your heart. Back to the you that was enough before the world made you doubt it. Look at the sunrise. It never rushes, yet it always arrives. So will you. In your own time, in your own way, as long as your heart keeps turning toward Him. Because becoming who Allah meant you to be isn't about reaching somewhere new, it's about returning to where your soul always belonged. The world doesn't need a louder version of you. It doesn't need you to pretend, to perform, to fit in. It needs the version of you that Allah wrote. The one that speaks truth even when it trembles. The one that loves quietly, gives sincerely, forgives easily. Because that version of you carries light, a light no trend can replace, no opinion can dim, no failure can erase. It's the you that was created with purpose, guided by mercy, and sustained by faith. So stop hiding behind who the world told you to be. Stop shrinking your soul to fit spaces never meant for it. You were never here to impress, you were sent here to impact. The world needs your truth, your softness, your sincerity. The world needs you, as Allah intended. Because when you finally become who Allah meant you to be, you don't just find peace for yourself, you become peace for everyone around you.